Sometimes the people closest to us, the ones we trust, confide in and lean on, can also be the ones who, knowingly or unknowingly, drain our energy, test our patience, and ultimately distract us from living a life aligned with our true values. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity, to recognize what truly serves our growth and what holds us back. And often, that clarity begins by examining the relationships in our lives. In today's video, we're diving into how to identify genuine connections versus those that may be hindering your path. We'll look at the subtle signs, the little behaviors that indicate someone might not have your best interests at heart. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus warned against shallow relationships that pull us away from our principles, and they offered timeless wisdom to help us cultivate friendships and connections that enrich rather than diminish us. As we explore these insights, think of this as a guide, not only to better understand others, but to align more closely with your values and aspirations. And if you're someone who is on a journey of self-discovery, or if you seek to live a life rich in wisdom, inner peace, and authentic relationships, I encourage you to stay tuned. By the end, even the skeptics among us might find themselves rethinking their connections. So, if these ideas resonate with you, if you're seeking personal growth through practical philosophy, hit subscribe and share this video with others who may be on a similar journey. Watch until the end to gain a full understanding of the subtle yet powerful ways Stoic wisdom can transform the way we see and interact with the people around us. The impact of your circle. It's often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our thoughts, actions, and overall life trajectory. This is not just about immediate influence, but how these interactions mold our character and philosophies over time. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." This advice holds true today, as it underscores the significance of our social circles in shaping our ethical and moral landscape. Think about it. When you spend time with friends, colleagues, or family who consistently exhibit virtues like honesty, courage, and wisdom, you are more likely to emulate these traits. This isn't just about peer pressure. It's about the subtle exchanges that happen in our daily interactions. Every conversation, every shared experience contributes to the fabric of our character. In the realm of Stoicism, we are encouraged to cultivate relationships that not only bring peace and happiness into our lives, but also challenge us to grow and improve. Moreover, consider the reverse. When we frequently interact with those who might deceive, manipulate, or espouse negativity, we risk those qualities seeping into our own lives, even if subconsciously. It's like walking through a muddy path. You can't help but carry some of that dirt with you. This is why Stoics value wisdom in choosing companions, emphasizing the need for a circle that reflects the virtues we aspire to integrate into our own lives. So, as we navigate through the complexities of relationships, let us be strategic and thoughtful. Let's ask ourselves, are the people around me contributing to my growth? Do they embody the virtues that Stoics cherish? Am I better because they are in my life? This isn't about creating a perfect social circle, but about being mindful of the impact each person has on our journey towards a virtuous and fulfilling life. This awareness will not only help us in selecting the right companions, but also in becoming a positive influence in the lives of others. The impact of our circle is profound. It shapes our thoughts, molds our character, and ultimately determines the quality of our life. Inconsistency between words and actions. Have you ever met someone who's a champion at making promises, but when it's time to deliver, their actions fall dramatically short? It's frustrating, isn't it? This inconsistency isn't just a minor character flaw, it's a significant indicator of someone's integrity or lack thereof. Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in virtues like honesty and integrity, teaches us that a person's true character is revealed not through their words, but through their actions. Marcus Aurelius stressed the importance of living a life consistent with one's own philosophy, not just in thought, but in action. He believed that unifying what we say with what we do is the essence of integrity, and this alignment is what we should seek in ourselves and those around us. Think about the impact of dealing with someone whose words and actions don't align. Initially, they may promise support, loyalty, or partnership. These assurances can be comforting, even motivating. However, when push comes to shove and they fail to follow through, it not only disrupts plans, but also erodes trust. Over time, this pattern can lead to doubt, skepticism, and a general sense of insecurity, which can be toxic in both personal and professional environments. From a Stoic viewpoint, we are encouraged to observe and analyze the consistency of those we choose to keep in our lives. Are they reliable? Do they follow through on commitments? These observations are crucial because they help us determine whom to trust and rely on. In Stoic practice, fostering relationships with consistent, reliable individuals aids in our own moral and personal development. So, as we navigate our relationships, let's pay close attention to this alignment between words and actions. It's not just about holding others to account. This principle also invites us to reflect on our own consistency. Are we living true to the values we voice? Are we as reliable and trustworthy as we expect others to be? By embodying the very consistency we seek, we not only enhance our relationships, but also deepen our practice of Stoicism, striving for a life where our actions and words are in complete harmony. Selective kindness. Have you ever met someone who's a champion at making promises, but when it's time to deliver, their actions fall dramatically short? It's frustrating, isn't it? This inconsistency isn't just a minor character flaw. It's a significant indicator of someone's integrity or lack thereof. Stoic philosophy, deeply rooted in virtues like honesty and integrity, teaches us that a person's true character is revealed not through their words, but through their actions. Marcus Aurelius stressed the importance of living a life consistent with one's own philosophy, not just in thought, but in action. He believed that unifying what we say with what we do is the essence of integrity, and this alignment is what we should seek in ourselves and those around us. Think about the impact of dealing with someone whose words and actions don't align. Initially, they may promise support, loyalty, or partnership. These assurances can be comforting, even motivating. However, when push comes to shove and they fail to follow through, it not only disrupts plans, but also erodes trust. Over time, this pattern can lead to doubt, skepticism, and a general sense of insecurity, which can be toxic in both personal and professional environments. From a Stoic viewpoint, we are encouraged to observe and analyze the consistency of those we choose to keep in our lives. Are they reliable? Do they follow through on commitments? These observations are crucial because they help us determine whom to trust and rely on. In Stoic practice, fostering relationships with consistent, reliable individuals aids in our own moral and personal development. So, as we navigate our relationships, let's pay close attention to this alignment between words and actions. It's not just about holding others to account. This principle also invites us to reflect on our own consistency. Are we living true to the values we voice? Are we as reliable and trustworthy as we expect others to be? By embodying the very consistency we seek, we not only enhance our relationships, but also deepen our practice of Stoicism, striving for a life where our actions and words are in complete harmony. Frequent lies. This is something that, unfortunately, we've all encountered at some point. Whether it's small fibs or grand fabrications, the consistent untruthfulness of someone in your circle can have a profound impact, both emotionally and practically. Stoicism holds truth and honesty in high regard. The Stoics believed in living a life of personal integrity and transparency. For them and for us, truth is not just a moral choice, but a fundamental aspect of leading a meaningful and serene life. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of being truthful in his meditations, viewing it as essential to the maintenance of one's character and social harmony. When someone lies frequently, it challenges the very basis of trust, which is crucial in any relationship. Trust is the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built, and once it starts to crumble, everything else becomes uncertain. You begin to question not just the truth of what they are saying at the moment, but also everything they've said in the past and what they will say in the future. In the context of Stoicism, dealing with someone who lies frequently is a test of one's own virtues, particularly patience, understanding, and justice. How do we deal with this challenge? Do we confront them? Do we forgive them? Stoicism teaches us to approach such situations with a calm and rational mind. It encourages us to reflect on why the person might feel compelled to lie and to consider the impact of their behavior not only on our lives, but on their own character and well-being. Moreover, frequent lying by someone can serve as a critical reminder of the importance of surrounding ourselves with the right people. Stoics like Seneca often spoke about the influence of our companions on our moral and ethical behavior. If someone habitually lies, they are not only eroding their own ethical standing, but potentially ours as well, as we may become cynical or start to mirror their behaviors subconsciously. Confronting and mitigating the impact of lies is as much about preserving our integrity as it is about addressing the dishonesty itself. It's about making a conscious choice to uphold the Stoic virtues by either helping the individual recognize the value of truth or choosing to distance ourselves to maintain our own peace of mind and virtue. In dealing with frequent lies, we're not just protecting ourselves from deception, but also actively participating in the cultivation of a truthful, transparent, and virtuous community. It's a challenge, certainly, but one that offers significant growth and alignment with the Stoic way of life. This focus on honesty does not only pave the way for more meaningful and trustworthy relationships, but also enriches our character, drawing us ever closer to the Stoic ideal of a well-lived life. Attention-seeking behavior. This is a trait we often encounter in both personal and professional spheres, and it can be quite draining. People who consistently seek attention tend to do so out of a deep-seated need for external validation. Their self-worth is heavily influenced by how others perceive and acknowledge them. This reliance on external validation is contrary to Stoic principles, which encourage finding value and contentment from within oneself. Stoicism teaches us the importance of self-sufficiency and emotional resilience. The philosophy advocates for an inward focus where our own evaluations and judgments of our actions and life are what truly matter, not the fleeting approval of others. Epictetus emphasized that peace comes from abandoning the need for external validation and focusing instead on our own actions and responses. When someone is constantly seeking attention, it often manifests in various disruptive or exaggerated behaviors. They might dominate conversations, exaggerate stories, or create drama, all in an effort to stay at the center of attention. For Stoics, this behavior would be seen as a misalignment with the virtue of temperance, which is about moderation and self-restraint. Moreover, Attention-seeking behavior can disrupt the genuine connections that form the basis of healthy relationships. In a friendship or any social interaction, balance is key. It involves giving and taking. However, when someone is overly focused on drawing attention to themselves, it can stifle the natural give and take of relationships. They may overlook the needs and contributions of others, focusing solely on themselves, which can lead to resentment and a breakdown in communication and mutual respect. For those of us trying to live a Stoic life, dealing with attention seekers presents a practical challenge. The Stoic response would involve showing compassion and understanding why someone might engage in such behavior. Perhaps they are insecure or have unmet emotional needs. However, Stoicism also teaches us to set boundaries. It is important to protect our own peace and not allow another's need for validation to disrupt our tranquility or draw us away from our focus on personal virtue. In our interactions with attention seekers, we can strive to provide reassurance and recognition when appropriate, but also gently encourage them towards self-reflection and self-reliance. Encouraging them to appreciate their intrinsic value might help lessen their reliance on external validation. This approach not only aids them in their personal growth, but also aligns with our Stoic values of fostering understanding and virtue both in ourselves and others. Manipulative flattery. It's a common scenario where someone uses excessive praise not as a genuine compliment, but as a tool to gain something for themselves. This form of interaction is especially challenging because on the surface, it appears harmless or even positive. However, the intentions behind it are what taint the gesture. From a Stoic perspective, manipulative flattery is problematic because it contravenes the virtue of honesty. Stoicism teaches us to value straightforwardness and sincerity in our interactions. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living with integrity, and he warned against the deceptive sweetness of flattery, suggesting that it's akin to deceit if it's used to manipulate emotions rather than to convey honest appreciation. When someone habitually uses flattery to manipulate, they typically do so to curry favor or ingratiate themselves with others for personal gain. This could be to secure a promotion, to gain access to certain resources, or simply to maintain a favorable position within a social or professional circle. The flatterer often does not care about the well-being of the person they compliment. Their primary focus is on what benefits they can extract from the relationship. This kind of behavior can lead to a toxic environment, whether in the workplace or in personal relationships. For the person on the receiving end, it might initially feel good to receive praise, but manipulative flattery can eventually lead to distrust once the true nature of the compliments is realized. This can erode the foundation of trust and respect that healthy relationships are built on. Stoicism encourages us to approach such situations with a balance of wisdom and caution. It teaches us to question the intent behind overly flattering remarks and to assess whether these are aligned with truth and sincerity. Furthermore, Stoics would advise us to reflect on our own reactions to flattery. Are we allowing these compliments to inflate our ego? Do we become dependent on them for our self-esteem? Stoicism promotes self-awareness and the development of an internal validation that is not reliant on external approval. For those who practice Stoicism, encountering manipulative flattery is an opportunity to strengthen one's character by reinforcing honesty and authenticity in one's own actions. It also serves as a reminder to cultivate relationships with people who value genuine interaction and who will provide honest, constructive feedback that contributes to personal and moral growth, rather than superficial praise. In dealing with manipulative flattery, then, the Stoic approach involves maintaining our ethical standards and not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the charming but ultimately hollow words of others. We should strive to be models of authenticity, encouraging open and honest communications that build truly supportive and sincere connections. Absence in times of need. This topic resonates deeply because it touches on the reliability and sincerity of the relationships that we cherish and depend upon. It's disheartening to find that someone you counted on disappears when you face difficulties, and this revelation can often lead to significant emotional distress. From a Stoic perspective, the philosophy teaches us that adversity is not only inevitable, but also a critical test of character, both our own and that of those around us. The Stoics, such as Seneca and Epictetus, emphasized the importance of supporting one another, asserting that true friendship is proven not in times of convenience, but in times of challenge. They believed that a friend's true value is shown through their actions, especially when those actions entail personal sacrifice or discomfort. When someone consistently fails to show up during your hard times, it may reveal a lack of genuine commitment to the relationship. Such behavior demonstrates a conditional kind of friendship, one that is maintained not out of mutual respect or love, but for the benefits it provides when times are good. This selective presence is contrary to Stoic values, which prize consistency, reliability, and integrity. In confronting the absence of others in our times of need, Stoicism offers a path not of bitterness, but of understanding and reflection. It encourages us to see such situations as opportunities to practice forgiveness and to reassess our expectations of others. Moreover, it prompts us to cultivate self-reliance, a fundamental Stoic principle. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the strength found in self-sufficiency, advocating for an inner fortitude that remains undisturbed by the absence or presence of others. However, recognizing the lack of support from others also serves a practical purpose in Stoicism. It allows us to make informed decisions about whom we trust and rely upon. Stoicism doesn't teach us to be unfeeling or to sever all ties impulsively. Rather, it encourages a rational assessment of relationships based on the true nature of people's actions. If someone is frequently absent during critical moments, it might be time to consider how much emotional investment and dependence one places on them. Additionally, this understanding can guide us to be better friends and supporters ourselves. By reflecting on how the absence of others affects us, we can strive to be more present and supportive in the lives of our friends and family. This not only helps us build stronger, more authentic relationships, but also aligns us more closely with Stoic virtues. Gossip and rumor spreading. This tendency not only undermines trust, but can also cause irreparable damage to reputations and relationships. It's a behavior that might seem trivial or harmless to some, yet its impact is anything but. In the context of Stoicism, gossip is fundamentally at odds with the virtue of wisdom, which entails the proper use of reason, and the virtue of justice, which concerns proper treatment of others. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on our own actions and character rather than meddling in others' affairs. They advocated for a life where one speaks only that which is true, necessary, and kind. Gossip typically involves the sharing of unverified, often salacious information that is not directly related to the gossiper. This can be motivated by a desire to feel more connected to others, to feel superior, or simply out of boredom. However, the Stoic approach to conversation is to engage in discussions that are meaningful and uplifting rather than degrading or divisive. Gossip, by its nature, fails to meet these criteria and is seen as a misuse of one's capacity for speech and reason. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us about the importance of empathy and understanding. Gossip often lacks these qualities. It is usually more about passing judgment than seeking to understand or help. This behavior can alienate and isolate individuals, creating an atmosphere of mistrust. If people are worried about being the subject of gossip, it can stifle open and honest communication within a group. In dealing with gossip, Stoicism offers a valuable framework. Be mindful of your contributions to conversations. Are you adding to the noise, or are you providing something of substance? Are your comments about others necessary, or could they be hurtful? Stoicism doesn't call for us to be indifferent to what others are doing, but rather to act with intention and care. If we hear gossip, we should steer the conversation away, or gently remind others of the importance of focusing on matters that improve our collective well-being. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to reflect on why we might feel the urge to gossip. Often, it's a sign of our own insecurities or dissatisfaction. By addressing these underlying issues, we can reduce the impulse to engage in such discussions. Instead of spreading rumors, we can seek to build others up, offering support and positive feedback, which in turn fosters a supportive and robust community. By understanding and applying Stoic principles, we can resist the temptations of gossip and rumor spreading. We can strive to be sources of reliability and kindness in our communications. In doing so, we not only enhance our own character, but also contribute to a more trusting and respectful environment. This alignment with Stoic virtues enriches our lives and those around us, creating a circle of positive influence that extends far beyond mere conversations. Jealousy and resentment. Let's talk about a behavior that can creep into even the closest of relationships: jealousy and resentment. These emotions are tricky, often hidden behind smiles and polite words, yet they carry a powerful negative impact on both the person feeling them and the person they're directed towards. Jealousy is more than just an uncomfortable feeling. It's a lens through which people view others, one that can distort relationships, cloud judgment, and lead to resentment. From a Stoic perspective, jealousy represents a significant deviation from the path of virtue. The Stoics taught that a person's happiness and contentment should come from within, independent of others' achievements or possessions. In Stoic thought, jealousy is a symptom of misplaced values. When we feel envious, we are essentially letting external factors dictate our peace of mind, valuing another's success or status over our own sense of virtue and fulfillment. Jealousy often arises from a scarcity mindset, the belief that there's only so much success, admiration, or happiness to go around. This mindset leads people to think that another's achievements somehow diminish their own potential or worth. Stoicism, however, promotes an abundance mindset where there is enough good in the world for everyone. Instead of competing against each other, the Stoic approach encourages us to celebrate others' accomplishments as part of the human experience, knowing that one person's success doesn't limit our own opportunities for growth and fulfillment. One of the subtler but more damaging expressions of jealousy is the tendency to make backhanded compliments or passive-aggressive remarks. For example, instead of openly celebrating a friend's promotion, a jealous person might say, "Oh, you're so lucky to have connections." Such comments can be hurtful and reflect an inability to genuinely share in others' happiness. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a generosity of spirit, one that rejoices in others' successes without diminishing them through envy or resentment. Jealousy, if unchecked, often transforms into resentment. Resentment is a deeper, more corrosive emotion where a person not only envies what someone else has, but also feels bitterness toward them for it. It creates a divide in relationships, an invisible wall that prevents open communication and genuine connection. Stoicism offers a solution by encouraging us to recognize the futility of resentment. Resentment doesn't harm the person we're envious of. It harms us, consuming our thoughts and detracting from our peace of mind. When dealing with jealousy, the Stoic response is to focus inward and realign with our own values and goals. Marcus Aurelius advised us to reflect on our desires and ask whether they are truly aligned with our highest self. Instead of focusing on what others have, we are encouraged to focus on our own journey, cultivating gratitude for our progress and taking pride in our unique path. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us the power of acceptance. Life is full of people who will have more of what we might want, whether it's wealth, success, relationships, or recognition. But rather than viewing this as a personal deficit, Stoics encourage us to accept that everyone's life unfolds differently and that comparison is ultimately futile. By embracing our own lives as they are and focusing on what we can control, we become less vulnerable to jealousy and resentment. For those who find themselves on the receiving end of someone's jealousy, Stoicism provides a path of compassion and understanding. It's tempting to react defensively or to distance oneself, but Stoic thought reminds us that others' actions often stem from internal struggles. When we see jealousy in others, we can choose to respond with kindness, recognizing that their envy reflects their own insecurities rather than anything lacking in us. This approach not only protects our peace of mind, but can also, in some cases, help ease the jealousy and pave the way for a healthier relationship. Jealousy and resentment may be common, but they are by no means inevitable. With a Stoic mindset, we can transform these emotions into opportunities for growth, understanding, and self-improvement. By anchoring ourselves in our values, celebrating others' successes, and focusing on our own paths, we can cultivate a life free from the burden of jealousy and rich with genuine connections and inner peace. Building authentic connections. In a world where so much can feel surface level and transactional, finding relationships that are genuine, supportive, and enriching can feel like discovering a rare gem. Stoicism reminds us that the quality of our connections is essential, not just for happiness, but for our growth and pursuit of virtue. Authentic connections start with honesty, both with ourselves and with others. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, spoke about the value of being truthful in our relationships. Seneca believed that only by living in alignment with our values could we attract the kind of people who share those values. In other words, authenticity begins within. If we're trying to be someone we're not, or if we're constantly shifting to fit others' expectations, we're more likely to attract superficial relationships that don't genuinely support us or reflect who we are. But when we show up as our true selves, we naturally draw in people who appreciate us for who we are. Building authentic connections also means practicing active presence. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, and it's easy to be physically present but mentally absent. Stoicism teaches us to focus on the here and now, to be fully engaged in the moment. Marcus Aurelius spoke often about the importance of being present in each action, whether it's a conversation or a simple task. In our relationships, this means listening with intention, being curious about the other person's experiences, and offering our full attention. When we are genuinely present, it not only strengthens our bond with others, but also shows that we respect and value them. Another core aspect of authentic relationships is reciprocity, a principle emphasized by the Stoics as a key component of justice. Reciprocity means that relationships are a two-way street. They require both giving and receiving. Stoicism teaches that our interactions should be motivated by a sincere desire to contribute positively to the lives of others, not by what we can gain in return. When we give our time, support, or encouragement freely, We create an environment of mutual respect and trust. In return, we build relationships that are resilient and dependable, connections that feel supportive and reciprocal even during difficult times. Furthermore, authentic connections are built on acceptance and understanding. No one is perfect, and the Stoics knew this well. Epictetus, for example, spoke about the importance of patience and compassion in dealing with others, recognizing that everyone has their own challenges and limitations. Authenticity in relationships means accepting others as they are, with their flaws and strengths, just as we seek acceptance for ourselves. When we release the need for others to be perfect and approach them with compassion, we foster an environment where both parties feel safe to be vulnerable and genuine. At the same time, Stoicism reminds us that genuine connections require boundaries. True friends or partners respect each other's space, values, and autonomy. Boundaries are not barriers, they're expressions of mutual respect, showing that each person values their own well-being as well as the well-being of the other. Boundaries allow relationships to flourish by preventing resentment and ensuring that both individuals can grow alongside each other without feeling constrained or controlled. Stoicism also encourages us to be selective about the connections we cultivate. Marcus Aurelius advised surrounding ourselves with people who elevate us, who inspire us to be better and uphold similar values. Authentic relationships should challenge us to grow in virtue, to be our best selves. When we choose friends, partners, and even colleagues who reflect these qualities, we strengthen our own character and stay grounded in our principles. Finally, building authentic connections means committing to consistency. Authenticity isn't just about being true to ourselves occasionally, it's about embodying our values every day in all interactions. This consistency builds trust. When people know they can rely on us to be honest, respectful, and supportive no matter the circumstance, our relationships deepen and the bonds become unshakable. As we close, remember this. True strength lies not in tearing others down or letting envy fester, but in lifting others up and finding fulfillment within ourselves. Jealousy, gossip, and inauthentic relationships may distract us, but a Stoic life calls us back to integrity, wisdom, and peace. Let's walk this path together, cultivating genuine connections that honor who we are and who we aspire to become. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. If you found this journey meaningful, check out one of the suggested videos on the screen to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom. Stay grounded, stay true, and as always, keep striving toward virtue.